The galaxy was vast, an expanse of stars and planets teeming with life and intrigue. Dominating this intricate web of civilizations was the Council of the Sarn, a coalition of the most powerful empires. The Sarn, an ancient and technologically advanced species, had risen to supremacy through conquest and subjugation. Their rule was absolute, their power unquestioned. Their sleek, dark ships patrolled the galaxy, symbols of their unyielding authority. Earth, a relatively new player on the galactic stage, had learned to navigate this treacherous landscape with caution. Humanity had made impressive strides in technology and exploration, but they were still dwarfed by the might of the Sarn. The United Earth Federation had adopted a policy of diplomacy and non-aggression, seeking to avoid drawing the ire of their formidable overlords. Despite their oppressive rule, the Sarn maintained a veneer of order and stability. Trade flourished under their watchful eyes, and most planets enjoyed a semblance of peace. Yet beneath this surface lay a simmering discontent. Many species chafed under the Sarn's control, longing for freedom but fearing the consequences of rebellion. One such planet was Tau Ceti IV, a human colony established on the fringes of Sarn space. The settlers had thrived in their new home, building a prosperous community amidst the planet's lush forests and fertile plains. Life was good, and the people of Tau Ceti IV had grown accustomed to their relative autonomy. But everything changed on a fateful day when a Sarn patrol ship, the Zenith, arrived in orbit. The Zenith's captain, Varek, was notorious for his ruthlessness. He viewed humans as little more than upstarts, their presence in the galaxy an affront to Sarn superiority. Under the pretext of investigating unauthorized activity, he ordered a raid on the colony. The Sarn soldiers descended upon the settlement with brutal efficiency, rounding up the inhabitants and searching for any sign of rebellion. It was during this chaotic assault that Lily Carter, a 6-year-old girl, became separated from her family. In the confusion, she wandered into the path of a Sarn soldier. Without hesitation, the soldier fired, and Lily fell, her small body crumpling to the ground. Her death was quick, but the impact was immediate and profound. The colonists were horrified, their shock quickly turning to fury. This was not an isolated incident, but a brutal reminder of the Sarn's callousness and disdain for human life. As the Sarn troops withdrew, leaving the colony in disarray, the news of Lily's death spread like wildfire. Her parents' grief was unimaginable, their cries echoing through the settlement. But their sorrow was not theirs alone. It resonated deeply with every human who heard of the atrocity. The image of a small, innocent child struck down by the Sarn galvanized a collective resolve among humanity. The incident on Tau Ceti IV became the catalyst for a seismic shift in human sentiment. Earth had always been cautious, wary of provoking the Sarn's wrath. But the murder of Lily Carter ignited a firestorm of anger and grief that could not be contained. The United Earth Federation convened an emergency session, leaders from every nation gathering to discuss their response. President Angela Ramirez, a strong and charismatic leader, stood at the forefront of this assembly. She had always advocated for diplomacy, believing that humanity's future lay in peaceful coexistence with other species. But as she looked into the eyes of her fellow leaders, she saw the same determination and resolve that burned within her. The time for caution had passed. The time for action had come. Admiral Richard Blake, a decorated war hero and strategic genius, was chosen to lead humanity's response. Blake was known for his unyielding resolve and his deep understanding of warfare. He had spent his career preparing for a moment like this, and he knew that the battle ahead would require every ounce of his skill and experience. Blake wasted no time in assembling a team of the brightest minds and the bravest warriors from across the globe. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists worked around the clock to enhance Earth's technology and develop new weapons. They reverse-engineered Sarn technology, unlocking secrets that would give humanity a fighting chance. In secret, Blake reached out to other oppressed species. The Felidae, a feline-like race known for their agility and ferocity, were among the first to respond. Their homeworld had suffered under Sarn rule for centuries, and they saw in humanity a kindred spirit, a beacon of hope. The amphibious Nereids, with their advanced knowledge of aquatic warfare, and the technologically advanced Arcturans, masters of cyber warfare, also pledged their support. As preparations continued, Admiral Blake and his team strategized on how to confront the seemingly invincible Sarn. They knew that a direct assault on the Sarn fleet would be suicide. Instead, they planned a series of targeted strikes on key Sarn outposts, aiming to weaken their control and inspire other species to rise up. The first target was a minor Sarn outpost on the edge of human space. This outpost, while not heavily fortified, was a critical supply hub for the Sarn fleet. Blake believed that a swift, decisive victory here would send a powerful message. The operation was launched under the cover of darkness, Earth's newly developed stealth ships slipping through Sarn defenses undetected. The battle was fierce, but humanity's advanced weaponry and the element of surprise proved decisive. The outpost fell, and the victory sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. For the first time, the Sarn faced a formidable threat. The Council dismissed it as a fluke, an anomaly that would be swiftly corrected. But whispers of human defiance began to spread, and in the shadows, the seeds of rebellion took root. The galaxy was changing, and the Sarn would soon learn that they had underestimated the resolve of humanity. The victory at the Sarn outpost did more than just secure a strategic position. It lit a spark across the galaxy. On Earth, news of the triumph bolstered morale. People began to believe that they could stand up to the Sarn, that they could avenge Lily Carter and countless others who had suffered under the oppressive regime. Admiral Richard Blake, now hailed as a hero, continued to rally humanity and their allies. The United Earth Federation, once cautious and divided, found a renewed sense of unity. Scientists, engineers, and military experts from different nations and species collaborated like never before, pushing the limits of their combined knowledge and technology. In hidden labs and underground bunkers, they developed new weapons and defenses. Human scientists, with insights from Arcturan technology, created energy shields and advanced propulsion systems. Felidae warriors trained human soldiers in close-quarters combat, while Nereid tacticians taught guerrilla warfare and aquatic strategies. The combined expertise forged an alliance that was versatile and resilient. Meanwhile, the Sarn were not idle. The Council of the Sarn, initially dismissive of the human threat, began to recognize the growing danger. Admiral Kelnar, a seasoned and ruthless Sarn commander, was tasked with quelling the uprising. Kelnar had a reputation for his strategic brilliance and his uncompromising nature. The Sarn launched a series of retaliatory strikes on smaller human colonies and allied outposts, hoping to demoralize the burgeoning rebellion. These attacks were brutal, leaving a trail of destruction and death. However, instead of breaking their spirit, the Sarn's aggression only fueled the resolve of humanity and their allies. Admiral Blake, aware that their scattered victories wouldn't be enough to win the war, devised a bold strategy. He proposed a coordinated series of attacks on multiple Sarn targets to stretch their defenses thin. This would require precise timing and absolute secrecy. The first major target was the planet Lyra, a heavily fortified Sarn stronghold. Taking Lyra would be a significant blow to the Sarn, as it was a central hub for their fleet operations and supply lines. Blake and his team spent weeks planning the assault, gathering intelligence, and coordinating with their allies. The Alliance's fleet gathered in a hidden nebula, shielded from Sarn sensors by advanced Arcturan cloaking technology. Ships of various designs and sizes, each representing a different species, floated in the void, ready for the upcoming battle. The diverse fleet symbolized the unity and determination of the rebellion. Admiral Blake stood on the bridge of the UEF flagship, resolute, addressing his crew and the assembled fleet via holographic communication. Today, we strike a blow for freedom. The Sarn believe they are invincible, that we are nothing more than pests to be crushed. We will show them that we are a force to be reckoned with. For Lily Carter, for every life lost, we will make them pay. The fleet moved out, maintaining radio silence to avoid detection. As they approached Lyra, tension filled the air. Everyone knew the risks, but they also knew the stakes. The element of surprise was crucial. The assault began with a coordinated strike on Lyra's orbital defenses. Arcturan cyber specialists hacked into the Sarn systems, disabling key defense grids and causing chaos. Human and Felidae fighters swarmed the Sarn ships, engaging in fierce dogfights. Nereid commandos launched amphibious assaults on Lyra's water-covered surface, targeting underwater installations. The battle was brutal and prolonged. The Sarn forces, though caught off guard, fought back with relentless ferocity. Admiral Kelnar, commanding the defense from his flagship, the Dominion, proved a formidable opponent. His tactical acumen kept the Sarn defenses from collapsing entirely. Admiral Blake, leading from the front, coordinated the multi-pronged attack with precision. The Alliance forces pushed forward, inching closer to their objectives. The turning point came when a squadron of human bombers, escorted by Felidae fighters, penetrated the Dominion's shields and delivered a crippling blow to the Sarn flagship. With the Dominion disabled, the Sarn defenses began to crumble. The Alliance forces seized the opportunity, launching an all-out assault on Lyra's surface. Nereid commandos captured key installations, while human infantry secured strategic points. The planet fell, and the victory was resounding. The fall of Lyra sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy. It was a significant blow to the Sarn, proving that the Alliance could challenge their dominance. For the first time, hope spread among the oppressed species. The victory also cemented the bond between humans and their allies, as they celebrated their hard-fought success together. However, the battle was not without cost. Many lives were lost, and the scars of war ran deep. Admiral Blake, while proud of their achievement, knew that this was just the beginning. The road to true freedom would be long and arduous. But for the first time, the Alliance had taken a significant step forward, showing the galaxy that the Sarn's reign of terror could indeed be challenged. With the fall of Lyra, the Alliance had proven their capabilities. This victory inspired hope and attracted the attention of other oppressed civilizations throughout the galaxy. Species that had once been too afraid to resist the Sarn now saw a glimmer of hope. They began to secretly communicate with the Alliance, offering their support and resources. Among the first to formally join were the Cerathians, an insectoid species known for their unparalleled craftsmanship and engineering skills. Their hive-like society had been brutally subjugated by the Sarn, their advanced technologies exploited for the Sarn's benefit. Now they sought to turn their expertise towards liberation. Admiral Blake welcomed the Cerathians with open arms, recognizing the immense value they brought to the table. Their engineers quickly integrated with human and Arcturan teams, enhancing the Alliance's technological arsenal. The combined knowledge led to rapid advancements in weaponry, starship design, and defensive systems. Next were the Drakari, a reptilian race renowned for their fierce warriors and resilient combat strategies. The Drakari had a deep-seated grudge against the Sarn, who had decimated their homeworld and enslaved their people. Their inclusion in the Alliance added a formidable ground force capable of challenging even the most elite Sarn soldiers. The inclusion of these new allies necessitated a Grand Council to coordinate the growing rebellion. Representatives from each species gathered on a secret moon base, hidden from Sarn sensors. This council, chaired by Admiral Blake, became the central hub for planning and strategy. During these meetings, the diversity of thought and experience led to innovative approaches and strategies. The Felidai's agility and stealth tactics were combined with Drakari brute force, while Cerathian engineers developed new ways to protect and power their fleets. Each species contributed their unique strengths, forging a cohesive and versatile fighting force. As the Alliance solidified, the decision was made to launch a bold attack on the heavily fortified planet of Lyra. This Sarn stronghold was a critical hub for their fleet operations and supply lines. Capturing Lyra would be a significant strategic victory and a powerful statement to the galaxy. The plan was ambitious. The Alliance would conduct a multifaceted assault, combining space and ground forces in a coordinated strike. The key to success lay in the element of surprise and the precise timing of their attacks. The fleet, now bolstered by Cerathian technology and Drakari warriors, assembled in a hidden sector of space. Final preparations were made, and Admiral Blake delivered an inspiring speech to the assembled forces. "Today, we strike not just for ourselves, but for every being suffering under Sarn oppression. We fight for freedom, for justice, and for a future where no child must die because of tyranny. Together, we will show the galaxy that the Sarn's reign is not unchallenged." As the fleet approached Lyra, they initiated a diversionary attack on a nearby Sarn outpost, drawing away part of the Sarn defenses. With their main forces committed elsewhere, the Alliance launched their primary assault on Lyra. The battle began with a massive space engagement. Alliance ships, utilizing advanced Sarathian shielding and Arcturan cyber warfare tactics, engaged the Sarn fleet. Human and Felidae fighters darted through the chaos, taking out key Sarn vessels and clearing the way for the main fleet. On the ground, Drakari shock troops and Nereid commandos launched a simultaneous assault on Lyra's surface installations. The fighting was fierce, but the Alliance's superior tactics and coordination began to turn the tide. Key Sarn facilities were captured or destroyed, and the Alliance forces pressed their advantage. The turning point came when Admiral Blake led a daring raid on Lyra's central command center. Using a small, elite team of mixed species operatives, they infiltrated the heavily guarded facility. After intense close-quarters combat, they managed to disable the planet's main defense grid, allowing the Alliance fleet to gain complete control of Lyra's orbit. With the Sarn forces in disarray, the Alliance secured victory. Lyra was liberated, and its strategic importance could not be overstated. The fall of such a critical stronghold sent shockwaves throughout the galaxy, inspiring more species to join the rebellion. The campaign on Lyra forged deep bonds between the members of the Alliance. In the crucible of battle, friendships formed that transcended species and backgrounds. These relationships became the backbone of the Alliance, strengthening their resolve and unity. Lieutenant Maria Sanchez, a human pilot, found an unlikely friend in Thalassia, a Nereid warrior. Maria had saved Thalassia's life during the assault on Lyra, and the two had fought side by side through some of the fiercest combat. Despite their differences, they developed a deep respect and affection for each other. Maria taught Thalassia about human culture, sharing stories from Earth, and introducing her to human music and cuisine. In return, Thalassia shared the rich history and traditions of the Nereids, teaching Maria about their unique combat techniques and underwater survival skills. Their friendship became a symbol of the Alliance's strength, diverse individuals united by a common cause. This camaraderie extended beyond just Maria and Thalassia. Human engineers worked seamlessly with Sarathian technicians, Drakari warriors trained alongside Felidae scouts, and Arcturan strategists collaborated with Nereid tacticians. These bonds were put to the test during a surprise Sarn counterattack on Lyra. The Sarn, determined to reclaim their lost stronghold, launched a massive offensive. The Alliance, though caught off guard, responded with remarkable coordination and resilience. Maria and Thalassia led a mixed-species defense squad, their combined skills and mutual trust proving invaluable. They held the line against overwhelming odds, buying time for reinforcements to arrive. Their actions inspired those around them, turning the tide of the battle and securing another hard-fought victory. As the dust settled, the Alliance celebrated their triumph. The friendships and alliances forged in battle had proven their worth. The galaxy was changing, and with each victory the dream of freedom grew closer to reality. The Sarn had underestimated the strength of unity, and it was a mistake they would continue to pay for. As the Alliance gained momentum, not all was well within its ranks. The Felidae, despite their fierce loyalty and fighting prowess, harbored a faction that feared the repercussions of openly opposing the Sarn. This group, led by the influential and ambitious General Varric, believed that the Alliance was doomed to fail and sought to negotiate a secret deal with the Sarn to secure their own survival. Varric's plan was simple, yet treacherous: betray the Alliance by providing the Sarn with critical intelligence on an upcoming operation. In exchange, the Sarn would grant the Felidae a measure of autonomy and protection. Varric's followers, though few in number, were strategically placed within the Felidae ranks. allowing them to covertly gather and transmit vital information. The betrayal was nearly catastrophic. During a crucial planning session for an assault on a major Sarn fleet yard, the Sarn launched a surprise preemptive strike. The Alliance forces, caught off guard, suffered significant losses. Ships were destroyed, and many lives were lost. The atmosphere of trust and cooperation that had been painstakingly built was severely shaken. It was only through the quick thinking and bravery of an Arcturan spy, Tarek, that the full extent of the betrayal was uncovered. Tarek, who had been monitoring communications for potential leaks, intercepted a message from Varric to the Sarn. Acting swiftly, he relayed the information to Admiral Blake. Admiral Blake convened an emergency council meeting. The atmosphere was tense, with suspicion and anger palpable. Blake addressed the assembled representatives with steely resolve. "We have been betrayed, but we will not let this tear us apart. The Sarn seek to divide us, to weaken our resolve. We must stand united, now more than ever." Varric and his conspirators were swiftly apprehended and brought to justice. The Alliance held a tribunal where the traitors were tried and sentenced for their actions. The betrayal, while devastating, ultimately strengthened the Alliance's resolve. Trust was rebuilt and measures were put in place to prevent such treachery from happening again. The incident served as a stark reminder of the challenges they faced, not just from the Sarn, but from within. It galvanized the Alliance, uniting them in their determination to root out any threats to their cause. With renewed vigilance and solidarity, they prepared for the battles to come. Furious and desperate, the Sarn launched a massive counteroffensive against Earth, aiming to crush the rebellion once and for all. Their fleet, vast and powerful, descended upon the solar system with the intent to annihilate the human homeworld and break the spirit of the Alliance. The alarm was sounded across Earth and its colonies. The Alliance scrambled to mobilize every available ship and fighter. Admiral Blake, stationed on the UEF flagship Resolute, coordinated the defense with calm precision. "This is our moment," he declared over the comms. "We stand as one. We fight as one. For Earth, for our future, we will not falter." The battle that ensued was cataclysmic. Sarn dreadnoughts, bristling with weapons, clashed with the Alliance's diverse fleet. The sky above Earth lit up with the deadly dance of lasers and explosions. On the ground, civilians took shelter as military forces prepared for potential ground assaults. Human ingenuity and the advanced technology provided by their allies proved crucial. Arcturan cyber warfare units hacked into Sarn systems, causing chaos and disrupting their command chains. Sarathian-engineered energy shields absorbed and deflected the brunt of the Sarn's firepower, while Drakari and Felidae fighters executed daring maneuvers to outflank and outfight their opponents. Admiral Kelnar, leading the Sarn fleet from his dreadnought, the Dominion, was relentless. His strategies were ruthless, his forces disciplined. But Admiral Blake and his commanders matched him, move for move. The battle reached a fever pitch as Blake identified a critical weakness in the Sarn formation. Seizing the moment, Blake led a daring raid on the Dominion. A small elite task force composed of human, Felidae, and Drakari soldiers boarded the dreadnought. Fierce combat erupted within its corridors as they fought their way to the command center. Blake and his team confronted Kelnar in a brutal showdown. The Sarn commander, though formidable, was ultimately overpowered. With Kelnar incapacitated and the Dominion's command structure in disarray, the Sarn fleet began to falter. The Alliance pressed their advantage, driving the invaders back. The skies cleared as the remnants of the Sarn forces retreated, their morale shattered. The battle was a hard-fought victory. Earth stood defiant, its defenders bloodied but unbowed. The cost was high, with many lives lost and significant damage sustained. Yet the Alliance's resilience and unity had prevailed. They had faced the full might of the Sarn and emerged victorious, proving once again that they were a force to be reckoned with. In the aftermath of the battle, a remarkable discovery was made. Deep within the ruins of an ancient human settlement, scientists uncovered an artifact of immense power. Buried for millennia, this relic was a source of untapped energy that defied current technological understanding. It pulsed with a strange, almost sentient energy that seemed to react to human touch. Dr. Elena Marquez, a leading scientist in the Alliance, led the team studying the artifact. "This could be a game changer," she declared. "If we can harness its power, it could turn the tide of the war." The artifact was quickly transported to a secure facility where research began in earnest. The Alliance's top scientists and engineers, including experts from the Cerethians and Arcturans, worked tirelessly to unlock the artifact's secrets. The process was painstaking, requiring delicate calibration and advanced theoretical physics. Slowly but surely, they began to understand its workings. The artifact contained a form of energy that could be converted into a powerful weapon or used to enhance their ships and defenses. It also had the potential to revolutionize their propulsion systems, enabling faster and more efficient space travel. As they tapped into its power, they developed a new generation of starships, each equipped with advanced weaponry and shielding. Admiral Blake, upon reviewing the progress, saw the potential immediately. "This is the edge we've been looking for," he said. "We can take the fight to the Sarn on our terms." With the new fleet nearing completion, the Alliance prepared for a decisive strike. The target was the Sarn homeworld, a bold and risky move that could potentially end the war. The mission was meticulously planned, with every detail scrutinized. The new fleet, powered by the artifact's energy, was faster, more resilient, and packed a far greater punch than anything the Alliance had previously fielded. As the fleet assembled, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Soldiers and pilots, engineers and strategists, all were keenly aware of the significance of their mission. The galaxy held its breath as the Alliance, now equipped with the hidden power of the artifact, set their course for the heart of the Sarn Empire. The journey to the Sarn homeworld was fraught with peril. Sarn patrols and outposts posed constant threats, but the Alliance fleet, with its advanced capabilities, navigated through these dangers with skill and precision. As they approached their destination, the stakes became ever clearer. The upcoming battle would determine the fate of the galaxy, and they were ready to give everything for the cause of freedom. The Alliance fleet, now bolstered with the newfound power from the ancient artifact, stood ready at the edge of the Sarn homeworld star system. The Sarn planet, dark and foreboding, loomed ahead, protected by a vast array of defenses. This was Sarn Prime, the seat of the Sarn Empire's power, and the heart of their oppression. Admiral Blake, standing on the bridge of the UEF flagship Resolute, addressed the fleet through a secure holographic network. "Today, we face the final battle. The Sarn have ruled through fear and tyranny for too long. We have fought hard to reach this point, and now we strike at the heart of their empire. For our fallen, for our freedom, we will prevail." The plan was bold and multifaceted, relying on the element of surprise and the superior capabilities of their new fleet. The main force would engage the Sarn defenses head-on, creating a diversion while elite strike teams targeted key installations on the surface. Simultaneously, a specialized unit would infiltrate the central command hub to disable the planetary defense grid. The fleet advanced, moving swiftly and silently through the darkness. As they crossed into the outer perimeter of Sarn Prime, the alarm was raised. Sarn defense ships, sleek and menacing, moved to intercept. The space around Sarn Prime erupted into chaos as the two fleets clashed. The Alliance's new ships, powered by the artifact, performed beyond expectations. Their advanced shielding and weapon systems outmatched the Sarn vessels, allowing them to break through the initial defense lines. Arcturan cyber units hacked into Sarn communications, sowing confusion and disrupting their command structure. Meanwhile, on the surface, the elite strike teams, composed of human, Felidae, Drakari, and Nereid operatives, landed at their designated targets. They moved with precision, neutralizing key installations and sowing chaos among the Sarn ground forces. Explosions rocked the planet as vital facilities were destroyed. Admiral Blake's specialized unit, led by Lieutenant Maria Sanchez and Thalassia, infiltrated the central command hub. They encountered fierce resistance, but their training and determination saw them through. Fighting their way to the control center, they faced the final obstacle: the Sarn High Command, led by Supreme Commander Zaylor. Zaylor was a towering figure, his presence imposing and his reputation for brutality well known. The battle that ensued was intense and desperate. Maria and Thalassia, along with their team, fought with everything they had. In a final, climactic showdown, they managed to overpower Zaylor and gain control of the command center. With the planetary defense grid disabled, Admiral Blake signaled the main fleet. The Alliance ships surged forward, overwhelming the remaining Sarn defenses and securing a position over Sarn Prime. The once invincible Sarn Empire now lay vulnerable and exposed. The battle for Sarn Prime reached its zenith as the Alliance forces launched their final assault on the planet's core facilities. The Sarn, though heavily outnumbered and demoralized, fought with a desperate ferocity, aware that their very survival was at stake. Admiral Blake, coordinating the assault from the Resolute, directed the fleet with precision. All units, maintain formation. Ground teams, press your advantage. We have them on the ropes. His calm demeanor belied the intensity of the conflict, his strategic mind focused on exploiting every weakness in the Sarn defenses. On the ground, the elite strike teams continued their push. Maria and Thalassia, having disabled the defense grid, joined the main assault on the Central Palace, the seat of Sarn power. The palace, a sprawling fortress of dark metal and imposing architecture, was heavily guarded. The fight to breach its walls was brutal. Inside, the Alliance forces encountered fierce resistance. Sarn soldiers, driven by fear and desperation, fought tenaciously. The corridors of the palace became a battleground, with every inch contested. Maria and Thalassia led their team through the labyrinthine halls, their objective clear. Capture the Sarn leadership and bring an end to their tyranny. Admiral Blake, aware of the critical nature of this mission, deployed additional support to the palace assault. Drakari shock troops and Felidae scouts provided vital reinforcements, turning the tide in favor of the Alliance. Room by room, the palace fell to the relentless advance of the united forces. In the throne room, the final confrontation unfolded. The remaining Sarn leaders, defiant to the end, made their last stand. Supreme Commander Zaylor, wounded but unbroken, faced Maria and Thalassia. "You think you've won?" he snarled. "The Sarn Empire will never fall." Maria, bloodied and bruised, stepped forward. "Your empire is finished, Zaylor. Surrender, and maybe we can find a way to end this without more bloodshed." Zaylor laughed, a hollow, bitter sound. "We are Sarn. We do not surrender." With a final defiant roar, he charged. The battle was swift and brutal. Maria and Thalassia, fighting in perfect harmony, took down Zaylor and the last of his guards. As the Supreme Commander fell, the remaining Sarn leaders, seeing the futility of further resistance, surrendered. The fall of the Sarn leadership signaled the end of the battle. Across the planet, Sarn forces laid down their arms. The Alliance had won, not just the battle but the war. The once mighty Sarn Empire, which had terrorized the galaxy for millennia, was defeated. Admiral Blake, his voice broadcast across the Alliance comms, announced the victory. "The Sarn Empire has fallen. The galaxy is free. We have achieved what many thought impossible. Today, we begin a new chapter, one of peace and cooperation. To all who fought, to all who sacrificed, this victory is yours." The galaxy erupted in celebration. On Earth, on Lyra, and across countless liberated worlds, the news of the Sarn's defeat was met with jubilation. The Alliance, forged in the fires of war, now looked towards the future. They had overcome impossible odds, united by a common cause and a shared vision of freedom. As the sun set over Sarn Prime, Admiral Blake stood with his comrades, Maria and Thalassia by his side. They looked out over the devastated landscape, the cost of their victory etched in their minds. The road to true peace and rebuilding lay ahead, but they had taken the first, most crucial step. The galaxy, once terrorized by the Sarn, now looked forward to an era of hope and possibility. The galaxy was changing. The once terrifying grip of the Sarn had been shattered, and the vast expanse of space now hummed with the promise of a new era. As the Alliance forces began the arduous task of rebuilding, the victory over Sarn Prime remained fresh in everyone's minds. Celebrations erupted across liberated planets, each species reveling in their newfound freedom and unity. Admiral Richard Blake stood on the bridge of the Resolute, now orbiting Sarn Prime. The battle-worn but resilient ship had become a symbol of hope and defiance. As he looked down at the planet below, his mind was a whirlwind of emotions. Pride in their victory, sorrow for the lives lost, and a steadfast resolve to forge a better future. He turned to his trusted officers, Maria Sanchez and Thalassia, who stood by his side, their expressions mirroring his own complex feelings. "We've won the battle, but the war for a better galaxy is just beginning," Blake said, his voice resolute. "Our work is far from over." Maria nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "We need to ensure that the Sarn's fall doesn't leave a vacuum for another tyrant to rise. We must build a galaxy based on cooperation and mutual respect." Thalassia, ever the warrior, added, "And we must remain vigilant. There will always be those who seek power through oppression. We must be ready to defend what we have fought so hard to achieve." The process of rebuilding was monumental. The Alliance formed a provisional council to oversee the transition from war to peace. Representatives from each member species were included, ensuring that all voices were heard and respected. This council would lay the groundwork for a new galactic order, one built on the principles of equality and justice. On Sarn Prime, the ruins of the once feared empire were slowly transformed. What had been a symbol of oppression became a beacon of hope. The central palace, now a headquarters for the Provisional Council, was renamed the Hall of Unity. Its halls echoed with discussions and debates, not of conquest, but of rebuilding and cooperation. Dr. Elena Marquez and her team continued to study the ancient artifact, unlocking more of its secrets. They discovered that its power could be used not just for weaponry, but for advancements in medicine, energy, and transportation. These discoveries promised to propel the galaxy into a new age of prosperity and innovation. The bonds forged in battle deepened in peace. Maria and Thalassia, now decorated heroes, worked tirelessly to maintain the Alliance's unity. They traveled to different worlds, mediating disputes and fostering a spirit of camaraderie. Their friendship, a testament to the Alliance's strength, inspired many. Back on Earth, President Angela Ramirez addressed a crowd of jubilant citizens. "We have faced unimaginable challenges and emerged victorious. This is a testament to our resilience and our unwavering belief in freedom. We honor those who sacrificed their lives, and we pledge to build a future worthy of their legacy." As time passed, the scars of war began to heal. Cities were rebuilt, economies revived, and cultures shared and celebrated. The Alliance's efforts bore fruit as the galaxy entered a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity. Admiral Blake, now a revered figure across many worlds, often found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought them here. In quiet moments, he thought of Lily Carter, the innocent child whose death had sparked a revolution. Her memory served as a reminder of what they had fought for and why they must continue to strive for a better future. One evening, as the sun set over the rebuilt capital of Sarn Prime, Blake stood on a balcony of the Hall of Unity, looking out over the city. Maria and Thalassia joined him, and they stood in silence, each lost in their thoughts. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Maria said softly, breaking the silence. "A future we can be proud of." Thalassia nodded, her gaze unwavering. "And one we must protect, always." Blake smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. "We've come a long way, and there's still much to do. But together, we can achieve anything." As the stars began to twinkle in the sky above, the three friends stood united, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The galaxy had been terrorized, but in fighting back, humanity and its allies had forged a legacy of hope, resilience, and unity. The journey was far from over, but with each step forward, they moved closer to the dream of a galaxy where freedom and peace reigned supreme.